everybody, and welcome back to another exciting edition of Poland Daily Travel in the studio with my guest, Nicholas Richardson, who does the best Prince Charles impression. Well, it's even better than Prince Charles. I would say.
Even he's confused, I gather.
Yeah,
yes.
I think you do it
Thank
better.
you so much, yes.
And let's face it, you got the ears for it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and I think we should acknowledge that.
You should.
No, if you got it, flaunt it. Right?
Exactly right.
That's what you got to do.
And I'm probably actually, like him, one of the few people you'll see in Warsaw wearing double-breasted suits as well.
Yeah, nobody wears those anymore.
Well, I do. And Prince Charles.
I used to have one or two of those.
I've sort of decided that I've made my, like Steve Jobs always wore black to make his life interesting, to make it simple.
No, to make it simple, not interesting.
So I've decided, during the day I'll be Prince Charles, at night I'll be James Bond. This will simplify my life.
You're going to be like James Bond?
Yes, exactly. I think so. That seems to work for me.
You got a sort of Bond-like...
Especially when I'm wearing my dinner jacket. Then I really am very...
Bond-like aura.
A Bond-like aura. Other people have said that. You're not the first to say that, actually.
Really?
Yeah,
I'm surprised. Yeah. No, I mean, I'm not surprised. That's what I'm supposed to say.
No, it's very funny. I was on somebody's chat show, and he introduced me as Poland's equivalent to James Bond.
He did?
Yeah, he did. And the funny thing was, on his Facebook page, he then got an angry letter.
From Sean Connery?
No, not from Sean. From a Polish chap who said, no, in my view, there's only one Polish James Bond. And
who was that?
I don't know, he produced some historical figure who'd been a real spy. So it was just,
What?
Some people just don't have a sense of humour.
Well, that was supposed to be funny.
It was supposed to be funny. That was the whole point.
Hey, anyway. You just said 3 places where you'd like to go in the last episode.
Yes, well, it's your turn now.
It's my turn?
Yeah.
But my mind's a blank.
Well...
I can't think of one place. I'm kidding. I can think of a place. My mind is a blank, but I can still think of a place.
Yeah.
Yeah. My mind is a blank, and I won't tell you what the word is that blank is covering up.
Okay.
Okay.
Any
It's
clues?
been bleeped out, that word. Yeah.
The mystery voice for the viewers at home.
Yeah. I have one question.
Yes.
In the beginning of this show, there's a lot of people rushing very fast through the train station.
Yes.
Do you know how they...
Go in and just stop. I think it's...
Where do you think they were going? Because they look in a real hurry.
It's railway station.
It's a what?
It's a railway station.
Not what? Railroad.
A railway.
Station.
A railway station.
No, Johnny Cash sings about a railroad.
Yes, but he was American.
Not a railway.
We have railroads in America. Everywhere else we have railways.
I think Johnny Cash knew what to call it.
Well, he knew what to call the ones
The Man in Black.
The Man in Black, yes.
Yeah. But okay. What you're trying to is illustrate again.
Is the difference between English and American.
And American speaking. Yeah.
Although I've noticed that train station is creeping into English now as well.
Train station is creeping into
English. You hear it on
Lord.
I know, it's very distressing.
That's Hollywood again.
It is Hollywood. I think it's Hollywood and the internet.
With their strange ideas. And the internet.
Yeah.
Good Lord, what can you do? You can't fight the internet. It's like fighting City Hall.
It is. Well, unless you're the Chinese can fight the internet quite successfully, but if you're not the Chinese...
I want to say one word to you.
Okay.
Okay, can I say one word to you? Because we have to move on and talk about travel. That's why we're here.
You keep distracting us.
Can I say one word to you?
Yes.
Przemysl.
Przemysl. I've been to Przemysl.
Can you say it?
Try
to say it.
Przemysl.
Can you say it Szczecin?
Szczecin.
Not bad. Not bad. Can you say it Międzyzdroje?
Międzyzdroje.
Pretty good.
Thank you.
I'm surprised. I'm shocked.
Yeah.
I would have thought that you'd have trouble with at least one of those.
I'm actually a bit more, although I've been...
I had to practice for like half an hour.
I've never got... Przemysl, everybody I ask who's Polish pronounces it slightly differently.
They do. They pronounce it. Even Poles pronounce it differently?
Yeah, I've been a bit confused by that.
How could you tell? I couldn't tell the difference, really.
Well, no, but they do slightly. Because I keep asking, because I was there making a program about it, a history program about it, I kept...
What was the program that you were making?
We were making a program about the history of Przemysl, actually.
And so?
Which is quite interesting.
What was the focus? It used to be an Austrian town?
It used to be an Austrian...
Or Austrian architecture?
Yes.
In the Austrian partition?
In the 19th century.
Yeah.
It saw a lot of action in the Second World War.
First World War too.
And particularly the First World War as well, where the outer and the inner fortifications were built.
Yeah, and you can see those fortifications there.
You can see those fortifications. But for a lot of your viewers, the cathedral is quite interesting. It's not the most interesting church in there, but it is quite interesting, because in the vaults of the cathedral, which you can visit, which have been recently renovated, which is very nice, you can see the skull of Saint Valentine.
The actual Saint Valentine?
They believe this is the skull of...
Now, was he the guy with the Saint Valentine's Massacre?
No, that was... You've been watching Some Like It Hot. That was Tony Curtis and Jack Lemmon in the film. No, this was Saint Valentine.
What?
The
You're
one,
confusing me now.
This is the saint
you mean
feast we celebrate on the 14th of February.
This is the original guy with Valentine's.
This is the original Saint Valentine.
Saint Valentine. It's really his skull?
They believe it is his skull.
How do they know?
I don't know. In the Middle Ages, people went around collecting these sort of relics.
They would keep them because there wasn't much else to do, let's face it.
Yeah, but it's actually
They didn't have Game Boys.
It's a very interesting trip there. They've got all sorts of things down in the vaults, which have recently been renovated, so they're very nice to see.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
Good lighting and some interest. And you see even some of the very early foundations of the church, because the current...
How old is that skull, by the way? Do you remember?
I don't remember exactly.
Vaguely?
No.
Any idea?
No. Very old.
Would you say it's 500, 600, 700 years?
More than that, I think. Yeah.
I didn't know that he was hanging around in Poland. That's
nor
bizarre.
did I, but of course, who knows, some traveller may have brought his skull.
You never know. The monks would travel about with
when
things.
we were being shown round, they were very proud of this particular relic.
It's also, Przemysl is a very good place to go to Lvov. Now, I know Lvov is not in Poland, but it used to be.
It used to be in Poland, yes.
And it's known as a largely Polish city. Even today, they speak Polish there. And if you speak a bit of Polish and you go there, people are very receptive.
Yes, of course.
And it's a beautiful town. It was not really destroyed.
No.
It's a bit dilapidated, but I think that adds to the charm.
Yeah, I've heard it. I've not been, but I've heard it is lovely architecture, which can do with a lick of paint and a bit of touching up here and there. That's
right. And you can get there just by going through the border near Przemysl. And I can tell you, you can walk right through the border. You can leave your car at the border. You don't have to wait in line, because it can take a while. And the roads are not great in the Ukraine, let's face it.
No.
You have to stay on the main roads. They're not great, not yet. And you can get a ride into town, since this is a travel show. If anybody wants to go to Lvov, you can get a ride into...
That's your tip, is it?
From the border on the other side. It's very fast, actually, to go through. They check the passports. And you get on the other side, and there are people waiting, and they'll take you into town for 100 zlotys. And then
that's very good.
They'll take you right to your hotel, you tell them when you're leaving, and they'll come back and get you.
That's excellent.
When you're leaving, and bring you back for another 100 zlotys.
And that's 100 zlotys per car. You're not worried about where to park your car or anything like that?
What?
You're not worried then about taking your car into yet another country? So
well, no. It's just the waiting that's the problem mainly, isn't it?
It's a good top tip there. Save time.
Yeah. So, and you can go over and see. So Przemysl's nice. Przemysl is a nice town. And you can get to Lvov, and you can see a bit of the old-school Polish architecture, and a city which is now in the Ukraine, of course, called Lviv.
In Ukrainian,
yes. In Ukrainian. But has a lot of Polish history to be looked at.
I mean, it's
very good food, too.
Yeah, I mean, you and I probably tend to, because I come from an island, you come from a country which might as well be an island, a long way from... We're used to sort of fixed borders. And a lot of these towns and cities in this part of the world, they've moved, the borders have sort of moved around them quite a lot through history.
Belarus, a lot of those cities, and also Vilnius
it's always quite fascinating seeing the different influences on these places.
Polish,
because it's not something you and I, in our countries, ever sort of have encountered very much.
Well, no, I mean,
if at all.
England hasn't been invaded since 1066, and the South hasn't been invaded since 1865.
I mean, occasionally the French would try and land an army in Ireland.
Did you hear what I said? Yes. The South hasn't been invaded since 1865.
Yes. What,
that was the last occupation.
You'll be telling me now about the War of Northern Aggression.
I am, but that's a different story.
Yes, that's not really travel in Poland, is it?
Yeah. Okay, so I added a couple of things. I think that area is really nice, and you can also get down from Przemysl. Once you're way down there, you're close to the Bieszczady, you're close to Ukraine and to Lvov, and it's a great area.
Yeah, it is, and the countryside just north of.
You will not be disappointed if you venture there. That's the
things
point.
to see there as well.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite areas in the country.
A bit of an area which people tend to overlook, but definitely worth a visit.
The Bieszczady is beautiful as well.
Yes, exactly,
and wild. You might see a bison.
Yeah, and the Świętokrzyska hills and so on, very, very attractive scenery.
Świętokrzyska?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just to the a bit north. But
exactly.
That's a whole other subject.
That's what I said.
But we're running out of time.
We're always running out of time. Just when things get interesting, we're running out of time.
I know, that's the problem with...
Can't you speak to the producer and see if you can get a bit more time?
The problem with television, there's just never enough time.
Never enough time.
But you come back and we'll talk at length.
Of course.
Świętokrzyska is a great place. I want to go there with a travel show and do the castles.
Yeah, very interesting.
Between Krakow and Częstochowa. That is an amazing area. I completely agree. One of my favorite areas as well. I tend to like the eastern parts of Poland.
Yes,
I don't know why.
I think Poland is a country where, actually, in fact, a lot of the interesting or the more interesting areas tend to be around the edges. You've got the mountains in the south and then down to Przemysl.
And then the sea.
In the north, you've got the sea and the coastline.
That's a good point. I hadn't
then in
thought
the
about
east, you've got the forest.
Yeah, and the west. What?
And the west is, you've got those Poznan, Wrocław, those sort of big, which were part of Germany once upon a time.
Poznan,
and then in the middle,
Szczecin,
where Warsaw is, you tend to have an area
Yeah.
which is geographically less interesting because it's a sort of big sandy plain. Then you've got Warsaw in this big sandy plain, but you don't have quite the geographic interest.
It is a sandy plain, and you know why? Because the Wisła 20,000 years ago was about 20 kilometers wide or something.
Exactly, yeah.
Vastly wide, yeah. At any rate, thanks for being here.
Thank you, my
Good
pleasure.
It's always good to see you, Nick.
Always good to be here.
I always enjoy talking with you.
Thank you.
Always interesting.
It is.
Always a lot
Great
of
fun.
Thanks for coming by.
My pleasure. Thank you for inviting me.
Right. Okay, that's it for this episode of Poland Daily Travel on There's a Will. I'm Will, and we really thank you for watching this program. If you like what you saw, go down and give us a like on the YouTube there. It really, really helps a lot to get our program around to other people. And you can share it too if you really like it. Okay, that's it from me and Nick, and we'll see you next time.